So I have an event tonight, and of course I have to do my makeup, and I also have some questions that were sent in through Instagram that I'll be answering today. Also maybe just chatting about stuff. This is now the second YouTube video I've ever filmed. So yeah, very new to it. It's just kind of, it's fun to do these types of things because otherwise you're just doing your makeup alone. And this way it feels like you're kind of doing it with another person or doing it for more than just yourself. That's fun. I straightened my hair yesterday. It's funny when I say that. This is straighter than my hair normally is. So I straightened it yesterday and it's done this throughout the day. So I am gonna curl it afterwards, but today we're just gonna be doing makeup on the video. So one of the questions was, how have the first few weeks of being Miss Calgary been? So it's been super busy. My mirror's right here, by the way, so I'm gonna be looking at that a lot of the time. It's been really busy. Partly just getting everything together and learning the expectations and what I want to do with the role. This role is really what you make it, and I decided to really dive in head first and put in back in as much as I could into the whole year, which to me starts right away. So it's been very busy. I'm also learning about what I need to be doing and how to prepare for Miss Universe Canada, which is a lot of work, especially if you've never done many pageants before, because I know there are some ladies who go extremely prepared and having done pageants for a lot of their lives, and that type of experience is invaluable. So I'm doing my best to catch up. So as I'm adding this foundation to my eyes to prepare for the eyeshadow, I'm realizing that I'm smudging mascara all over my face. And the reason I already have mascara on is because filming this, it's in the afternoon. The event I'm doing is in the evening, but this morning I had a different event that had actually nothing to do with my Miss Calgary role. So I volunteer with the Calgary Stampede, and this morning we had an event that started, I think it officially started at 7:30, and I was there around 7:15 to get started. So I've been up since about 5:30, and yeah, I put on some makeup before I left the house for that. So I'm gonna have to take this off after I'm done with my eyeshadow and everything. So one of the other questions that I got was, why did I compete for Miss Calgary? Well, a couple years ago, and I've mentioned this before on Instagram and stuff. Oh, that was misplaced. I'll fix it. I was the 2023 Calgary Stampede Princess, and through that I got a lot of exposure to being involved in my community and having public speaking roles, and just I learned to absolutely love the idea of being involved in my community and being in a role where I'm not only volunteering, but it's more like very people oriented, and you're constantly meeting people and talking at events, and I absolutely loved it. And after I finished my degree and started working, I worked full-time as at a geophysics company, and I started to think, you know what, like, yes, I'm working full-time, yes, I have my volunteer commitments, but I just feel like there's more that I could be doing, more chances to speak and be involved and use a platform to talk about things that I care about. So that's why I wanted to run for Miss Calgary, and I've also never done any sort of pageant before, so I thought it would be fun. You know, there's all the like serious reasons and yeah, I guess the serious reasons and the work related and exposure and all that and opportunity, that's amazing, but it's also just fun. And a lot of the times when you enter competitions like pageants or any competition really that's against women your age, you meet a lot of amazing people, and that has been the case. It was throughout the pageant, and since being involved with Calgary pageants, you just you make a lot of friends and you get to see a lot of really cool opportunities. So I love my city and I'm happy to talk about it all day long. So the event I'm going to tonight, it's called the Calgary Dance Stampede, and it is a showcase. Well, it's a multi-day thing, but the event that I'm going to, that's part of the event. The thing I'm going to tonight, that's part of the event, is a showcase of different types of dance, a lot of like Western style. I've been to it before, and last time I was there, they had a disco ball shaped like a saddle, and I really hope they have that again. So a question that was similar to the last question, what inspired me to run for Miss Calgary? And so the reason I separated this and didn't, I don't really think it's the same answer. I got to know a couple of people who are involved with the pageant system over the past few years. So when I was running for Calgary Stampede Princess, I got to know and I got advice from the lovely Sharon Dason. She was a Stampede Princess in the 1980s, and she was also Mrs. Calgary in 2014 recently. And I thought it was really cool that she did both, because I know, of course, I know a lot of people who were Calgary Stampede royalty, and it was neat to hear that she was also a pageant queen. So that's kind of how I first heard about the pageant system. And then also in 2023, I got to know Emily Marston very well, who was Miss Calgary 2023, and just a lovely person as well. And I really saw what she did, and I really enjoyed watching her journey after her reign. And those two, Sharon and Emily, really made me think, you know what, like, I think this would be an incredible opportunity. And they're two very inspirational people, because they're very hardworking, both of them. And just they go for it. Two ladies who really just go for it, which I think is fantastic. So seeing women like that be in this role really shows like what you can accomplish through this role, or what type of people are drawn to these types of competitions. And I think that's really fun. Another interesting question that somebody asked was, what is my favorite beauty product and why? And my favorite beauty product is actually not something that I'm going to be putting on today. In my day-to-day life, I don't straighten my hair every day because it does take a long time, and I have very curly hair. So the thing with curly hair is it is curly, but when you don't take care of it properly, and if it's really dry, then it gets very fuzzy and the curls are not defined. And I like to look put together when I go to work, and I make the very most out of my curl cream. So there's not a specific brand or type of curl cream that I get. I've used many different kinds before. The important thing is if it's keeping my hair like hydrated, and I haven't found a single favorite yet, but that is in general my favorite product, because without it I would look like a pom-pom every day. Also, this contour looks pretty extreme, but again, this is an evening event, and once I put on the powder as well, it will kind of smooth it all out. But when these events, if it's in the evening, it's under stage lights and stuff, which it might be, I don't want to be like completely washed out and look like a snowball with pom-pom hair. That's kind of that's a nice description of myself. In the past, I have used gray eyeshadow before as contour. It works. So another question that was asked was, what is so far the difference between being Calgary Stampede royalty and Miss Calgary? So they are similar in some ways, but they are also very different in some ways. So the first thing I tell people is nobody's asking me to get on a horse as Miss Calgary, which that is a huge part of being the Calgary Stampede Princess. You have to be an experienced and knowledgeable horsewoman to even get the role. And then once you are in the role, you ride like 1 to 3 times per week just for training, and then there's also events. So no horses. That's a difference. The other thing, and like the thing that I think is most different, is Calgary Stampede Royalty is a youth development program. So when you enter it, if you are crowned, there is a committee of a whole bunch of people, and your whole schedule is determined for you. And generally, unless you have a huge event or an emergency, you don't turn down any events, so you go to everything. And in June and July, that means very, very busy life. Even today, like I ran into the current Stampede Royalty, and they've had a crazy week. So you do, I don't like to say have to, because then it sounds like a chore, but you have to go to everything, but in an amazing way, because when you are given that type of platform and that type of exposure at such a young age, it really changes you and helps you grow. Whereas with Miss Calgary, I really love that I'm doing Miss Calgary now because I have a job and I'm able to manage being Miss Calgary alongside my job. So like if I wasn't able to work, I wouldn't be able to be a pageant queen. So I absolutely love that right now I get to sort of determine what events I'm going to, seek out some of my own events as well. Of course, making sure that they're all in line with what Calgary Pageants wants to do. So it's very different in that way, just the demands and the schedule. But I wouldn't say it's in a way where either is better than the other. They're just both amazing for different parts of my life. So that's how I personally feel about it. The other thing that's really different is that for Calgary Stampede Royalty, you represent the Stampede, and it's fabulous and it's fun and it's amazing. And when, as Miss Calgary, I'm also preparing for the national competition, which is very new and very exciting to me. So it's really cool that I get to continue on to another level of competition and see how that goes. So that's also really different. But a lot of the things that are similar are like always wanting to look poised and presentable, having a professional and positive appearance on social media, always representing the organization and the city's best interests, and just always wanting to meet as many people in my community as possible. So some similarities, a lot of differences. Maybe someone will ask me to get on a horse as Miss Calgary, and then I won't be able to say that anymore. Look at me pretending I've been in the sun, putting it on my nose. Today, it has been sunny, and it snowed, and it rained in like a few hours. So that's just, I guess that's just Calgary for you. That's not anything new. Okay, so the next thing I'm doing is eyeliner, and I have no idea how I'm going to be able to talk to the camera at the same time, because for eyeliner, I'm usually like, like as close as I can possibly be to the mirror. So yeah, that might be kind of tough. Okay, so I'm gonna do the eyeliner. I can't imagine that I'll be able to actually film it. Okay, so that took approximately 20 years, but I'm finally done my eyeliner. This one was giving me a lot of trouble on the little wing there. I don't know why. I think maybe my skin's a bit dry, but yeah, it took forever, but we got there. So the last question that I am going to talk about is somebody asked for general advice in trying something new. So this was a cool question because it made me think. Like, I love to do new things. I'm always trying stuff. It's not very hard to convince me to do something different. I was thinking, what would my advice be? And I think I would say to just go for it and don't put too much pressure on yourself, but at the same time, try to be prepared. So, you know, like when I entered Miss Calgary, it was something very new, and I thought, you know what, this will be fun. We'll have a good time. But I also watched pageant videos. I looked up what people's dresses and shoes looked like. I looked up how the score was weighted and saw there was a lot of speaking component to it, and interviews. So I was very prepared, or as prepared as I could be. And because of that, it was a lot easier to just go in and have fun, because I wasn't always worrying about what I was doing or if I was dressed the right way, because I knew going in that I had done my work and done the research and made sure that I was entering the pageant like properly prepared. So don't put too much stress on yourself, don't take it too seriously, but it's easier to do that if you've done whatever it is, whatever the new thing is that you're trying. If you do something new, prepared and researched, it's just easier to be relaxed about it. So in the moment, you don't want to be stressed out, and it's much easier to do the work beforehand. I actually think I don't normally fill in my eyebrows because they're, you know, pretty dense as is, but I think today I'm going to. I will say I don't have any like exact plan or makeup routine or anything. It's just sometimes I feel like doing stuff, and other times I'm like, no. Like usually when I go to work, I do mascara, blush, highlight, sometimes a bit of brown eyeliner as well, and then I do brows. And yesterday I got up for work and I was like, I just don't really feel like putting on makeup. So I just, you know, put on the mascara and did my brows, which is, I do that every day no matter what. And then I was like, yeah, that's enough. So the same with like getting ready for pageant stuff. What I do one time is most certainly not set in stone. And it doesn't really, I don't know what it depends on. Just sometimes I feel like doing something and other times I don't. And it's probably not even that noticeable too. It's like, this is one of those things where it's like, yes, I want to be put together. I want to do my makeup well every time, but it's also not that serious. People, if I look put together and I look like I've done something and tried, then that's what's important. And if I have bigger eyelashes on one time than another, then first of all, I doubted anybody would even notice. And if they did, you know, I'm sure that that's not the most important thing about wherever I'm going or whatever I'm doing. This is a weird brush. I don't know. I just pulled out this brush. It's not a weird brush. It's a weird brush for highlight. Feel like a fan brush would be better, and I have one, but I think I used it for something else recently, and something like contour, and now it's like really dark and I haven't cleaned it yet, and I definitely don't want to do that if I'm trying to put on a highlight. So I'm doing this brush, but it's actually, you know what? Yes, it's a bit of a strange brush for highlight, but at the same time, it's easier to go underneath my eyebrow. So pros and cons, friends, pros and cons. Now for lipstick, I haven't decided what color I'm gonna wear yet. And part of me, and this is ridiculous because I don't even have this, but part of me wants to do like purple. Like, I just think it would be so fun to do like purple lipstick for this. And like, I have like a really dark, like plummy lip stain, but that's very wintry. I want to do like purple, like for spring. Okay, so I finished the eyelashes, and for the lipstick, I ended up doing the kind of plummy lip stain, so it won't really stay like this. Normally I leave it on for a bit and then wipe it off after it's left to stain. But yeah, this is all the makeup. Thank you to everybody who asked a question online on the Instagram. It was really fun to see what people want to know about being Miss Calgary, and I'm happy to answer it. So I also have to go do my hair, but after that I'll get dressed and then hit the road for the event tonight. I went to take my dog out for another walk before doing my hair and getting changed, and it is super windy and snowing. It's April 12th, and this is Calgary.